Hi there, you're watching the Gardens and Graveyards channel. My name is Charisma and today we're meeting in the studio and it's early in the morning. It's going to be a gorgeous day out there and I cannot wait to get out in the garden for the first time in weeks because it has been raining or icy or cold. It's still going to be a little bit chilly, but we're ready to go outside. In the meantime, while I'm waiting for it to warm up, I have so many Tradescantia plants that I need to deal with, and it is high time. If you remember, we just took apart one planter and put all of these stems in water. So they've just been sitting in water for a few days. This one didn't make it in. It's just been sitting on the floor. And you can see she still has tons of vibrant leaves. It's been sitting on the floor a good 5-6 days. So they're pretty resilient, but they're kind of a pain to maintain. I will show you my plants of shame in just a moment. But my plan today is to get all of them cut, much like I did here, maybe even shorter. And I'm going to plant them in these containers. I'm not going to put drain holes in them. I'm going to put a little bit of activated charcoal on the bottom. I'm going to put extra perlite in the potting soil, and when I water, I will just water sparingly. These plants like to dry out. Clearly, they're perfectly happy dried out. And they tend to get root rot. So I feel like if I do it this way, maybe, I don't know, maybe they'll be happier. I just want to try it out. And then these fit perfectly on my windowsill. So we're just going to plant up 3 of these, or 2 or 3. If it fills up 3, great. If it fills up 2, that'd be perfect. And yeah, that's what we're going to do. So I'm going to pull all my really ugly Tradescantia over here. We're going to take off all the ends. So the tops will probably look like this towards the pots, all the dried leaves. So we'll just clip those all off, and then I think what I'll probably do is just have a bunch of stems about this size. And I could just go down the stem and just do that over and over. Well, I'll cut them appropriately, but just create little stems like that to pop into the soils. And then, you know, have a little discard pile if I need it. But I can just keep going down the stem in that way. And just take off the dead leaves. And cut down to the healthy leaf, or the healthy node. And then pop that in the soil. So everywhere there's a node where a leaf came off, that will create more roots. Wherever I cut it, more roots will come out there. So my intention is, because I don't want these to trail, I don't want them to be a long trailing plant, maybe I'll be more inclined to keep up on them. And what you want to do is every time it gets like it'll get full and kind of maybe soften the edge here, but I don't want them trailing all the way down. So as soon as it gets like 2 inches below the edge, I'll come in and take off, you know, a piece like this and just leave them short like that, and then come back in and put this in the soil. So as they trail and lose their canopy, I'll just pop new ones over the top. And I'm hoping that if I do that, like check it over maybe once a month or once every other month and keep on top of it, I'll have a nice, healthy, beautiful looking plant, opposed to what I'm about to show you. All of these plants were repotted a year ago in January. So this is one of them. This one isn't even that bad, especially because we have this philodendron up here. But this is what they do. They just become dead. The stem is still alive. It's fleshy and alive. Obviously, the roots are still alive because the bottom of this stem untangle it, you could see that it has nice, vibrant purple color. It's just that the top of it looks absolutely horrendous. So we have this whole canopy. There's basically no Tradescantia leaves up here. And my thought with this combo was that these leaves would kind of cover that canopy ugliness. It just still becomes like this crazy mess. So I'm just gonna, keep cutting those. Just leave my little pile over here. Let me go ahead and bring over the rest of them so you can see just how terrible they look. And then I'm just going to make a big pile of healthy stem cuttings, and then we'll put them in soil. Okay, so here they are. My plant walk of shame. You can see how dead the tops of these crowns get. Yikes. So this was soil from 2 repottings ago. This was brand new soil. This is actually in those water beads. And then this is one. Look at how cute she is. I made up this little head planter and dressed her up a little bit. I did a little bit better at re-rooting through the year. That's why it's not as long as some of these others, but still not great. So let's just go ahead and disassemble all of these and get to it. I have no idea if this will be helpful for her or not, or if the stems that I cut will grow more Tradescantia, but I figured it was better to just cut them at the soil level so that I don't disturb these roots because they're so small still. All right, so then the next thing I'm going to do is just comb through all of these and get as many clippings as I can. The ones that are really weak and not fleshy and they've lost color, I'm not going to keep those. It's just a huge tangled mess. And anything that's trying to flower like this one, I'm going to cut off the flower because it's going to need all the energy it can get without the energy going to the flower. All right, now that we have our plants all sorted, this little guy came out of the Elsa, No, whatever, the frozen head, right? So what I'm going to show you is how I also took the cuttings that I had in this container and I cut them up into small little pieces that we can plant. But I wanted to show you how in the future I will try to be better at taking care of these plants. So first of all, I'm going to make sure that there's no dead leaves on the top of the crown. The crown of the plant is at the top of this pot, right? So then you can see how it starts getting really long and leggy in here. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to leave the one leaf on here because it does need a leaf to photosynthesize just like any plant and continue to grow. So I'm gonna leave one leaf here. I'll just do that all the way around and make sure that there is the leaf closest to the crown of the plant. I will leave in there. Okay, then I'm gonna take these and do the same thing. I'm just gonna cut and create little stems for my plants to grow. Oops. Let's do this. All right, and so then I'm going to take the stem that I cut. I'm going to take some, this is just like a little stick, and I'm going to poke a hole in there and bury the stem. And I'm just going to do that with every one of them. I'll just take this little stem, make a hole, pop the stem in there. And I could push the soil down back around the stem to give it some stability. And like this one's curled like that, so that's harder to get in there. I don't mind that this part's curled, but trying to get the stem in there curled, I'm just going to take off that curly Q so it can have a straight piece to stick down in there. And that little piece had a stem. Okay, so, all right, so now you can see that the top of the crown is nice and full. So about half of those stems are already rooted in, and the other half are just raw in there. I'm actually going to keep it in this little cup just because I think it's cute, and then we'll water it. We definitely want to make sure that we water in all of those stems that we just put in the soil. You want to keep them moist for, a few days to let the roots have an opportunity to grow. But that's it. Then that way, if you continue to do that, you'll have the opportunity to keep a nice full head on your plant. So for these here, I will be using my little stick. They're already cut. They shouldn't need any more detail. I went back through them and made sure everybody had a straight stem. So what I'm going to do with these, I'm going to do one at a time. I've got some soil in here. This is just organic potting mix. And then I'm going to add perlite. Quite a bit of perlite. Mix it all up inside of the potting soil. This is going to help facilitate drainage. It's going to help give oxygen to the roots. Okay, that looks pretty good ratio perlite to soil. Then I'm going to put a thin layer of activated charcoal. So this is an all-natural 100% charcoal. You can use it in terrariums. You can use it to help facilitate drainage. It absorbs a little bit of water. It definitely helps if you have a problem with like fungal gnats or something like that, or fungal diseases in your houseplants. This is something that might help. Basically just putting about an inch on the bottom there to cover the bottom. I'll show you on the empty one. There's like a little ridge right here. I just filled it up to the ridge with activated charcoal, and then because it doesn't have any drainage holes, so I'm trying to make sure that my plants don't rot underneath the soil. So then I'm just going to fill this up all the way with this nice fluffy new potting soil. This is a lot more perlite than I would use in just regular house planting. Again, I just really want to make sure that I don't end up with root rot. Right, none of these have any kind of root system, so I'm going to fill this up. Just going to kind of do this to settle the soil. I don't want to push it down and make any, kind of compaction going on. Keep as much oxygen in there as I can. But I can fill it up pretty high since we're not adding any root balls. I do want to leave a little bit of a lip so that when I water it, water doesn't spill out everywhere. All right. So then the next thing I'm going to do is I'm just going to come through here and plant like crazy. So I think I have really tiny stems like this. I'm going to put these all on the edge. And just going to go around in a circle, I think, and get all these popped in there. I tried really hard to pay attention to what side was up. Because the ones that have end leaves, and you could see the 2 leaves coming off here, real easy to see which direction the plant grows. Other ones, like this one, a little harder to tell. This leaf is going up, this one's going down. Which way does the plant go? So I left enough of a stem there to let me know which way. It is important to make sure that you plant in the direction that the plant naturally grows, because essentially you don't want to plant them upside down, right? That's not going to facilitate growth. So this one has quite a long stem. I'm going to actually take it all the way up there to give it lots of opportunity, because you may as well. But if I could keep the leaf out of touching the soil, that's helpful, because they tend to kind of get icky when the leaves are touching the soil. Okay, let's just continue on. We're gonna put them pretty close together and see how much this fills. And I'm hoping I'll still be able to get a second one. If they're curled like this, I'm just gonna kind of put them over the edge so they can just immediately start trailing. Alright, well, that was quite the tedious project, and my intention here is that I'm not going to let these trail below half of the container. So once they hit just about here, I'll trim them off and pop them back in to the top and see if I can just keep a nice tight full planter. We did 2 of them. They're both going to be sitting right here behind this workspace, so I will see them all the time. I'll be reminded constantly. Let's see if that helps me at all. These plants grow like ground covers where I grew up, so we did not grow them in the house at all. I grew up in Southern California in San Bernardino County, and yeah, my grandma just had them in her raised beds as ground covers. So I didn't realize how fussy and finicky they were. I'm sure what was probably happening there is they were just crawling on top of each other and burying their dead, so you didn't see those empty crowns like you do in the house. And you know, when they're trailing and they're up high and you're not looking down on them, you don't notice those crowns until you know, the dead has also come down below the container. So anyway, that's my experiment with Tradescantia. I hope that it works out better. I really do love the bright, vibrant color that they offer. This is the only one that I have, but I love the ones that I see out on the market. But I've been hesitant to get any more because of the maintenance that it requires. So maybe, excuse me, maybe if I find a routine that works for me, I can add a few more to my collection. So that's going to do it for today's video. I hope that you enjoyed it, and I hope that you're celebrating your life. We will see you in the next one very soon. Bye.